Well, hello YouTubers. Yes, as you can see, it's raining and I still have a lot of wheel arch gap on my car. Yeah, let me show you what I'm going to do about it. Well, we're back inside because it is December and the weather's terrible, but there we go. Ta-da! Yep. Let's get this bad boy unboxed. Right, let's go back to the beginning of the story. It's my opening knife. Yeah, my left or my near side front shock has just started to weep a little bit and it needs replacing. And the shocks and springs on the car are original to the car, so they've been on there since 2007. They've done 90-odd thousand miles. And to be honest, they need replacing. Not only to resolve the issue with the leaking one, or weeping, as I should say, just to bring the car's sprightness back, direction change, firmness, all of that stuff. So I investigated some pricing to do with normal shocks and springs. And to be honest, they weren't that very good on prices. Yeah. So I looked around for deals and then ummed for a few months, and then Andy at A&K Motorsport, that if you remember, I bought all my engine and gearbox mounts from, was doing a Good Friday deal. So I thought, you know what, I'll place an order some of these. And yeah, he got back in touch with me, said, brilliant, Paul, order's done. He also gave me an additional discount and refunded me some of my money. So as I'm a member of one of the Ford community groups on social media, and I got a really good deal. Yeah, so I've put a lot of thought into actually buying them. They turned up yesterday and we're literally a couple of days away from Christmas. And obviously I'm going to unbox them for you. I've tried to phone the garage that is going to fit them because obviously this time of year it's either raining, freezing cold, or both. Although we did have some snow the other week. But I'm going to get a garage to fit these. And yeah, partly because I'm being lazy and I just don't want to be outside in the freezing cold getting wet fitting them. But right, let's get this box open. Safely put my knife away. A box inside a box. Now, if you remember, I had some of these fitted onto my Toyota Carina, which was another project car, and I did a very similar video. Look. That, to me, looks like an air freshener. Yeah, so as you can see, these are for the Mark II Focus, which mine is. It's a 07 plate. It's come with some handy fitting instructions. And oh yeah, they're recommending you cut a hole on top of the strut brace. So that'll be fun, won't it? Some additional work to do. These are obviously things I will do prior, hopefully, to the fitment. Otherwise they won't fit. Anyway, let's get the box out and show you. Lots of polystyrene, lovely. Hopefully there's no hole in the bags, because that's bad. Right, so the rears, as you probably know, goodness, like these. Yeah, That's a rear shock. So the springs don't actually sit around the shock. The springs here sit in the lower rear wishbones in a separate part, and hard to see, but they have a coupling at the bottom that you adjust to adjust the ride height. They're looking really, really tasty. Let's see if I can get a front one out for you. Yeah, look. Right, so we have the front shock like this, and again it's adjustable on the top like so. You will have obviously your, basically it's just the firmness is to the rebound, and you can adjust it from soft to hard, and you've also got your camber adjustment. Yeah, but I mean, I've always liked the quality of these. They've always been really good. Yeah. Very, very nice indeed. Well pleased. Hello you lot. Yep, I'm outside. It's actually been the best part of 2 weeks since I had my BC Racing coilover kit turn up. But the weather has been that bad. Yep, literally. I've not been able to do anything. So, as I was going to say, one of the things I'm going to do, obviously they don't tell you this when you get a suspension kit, is I'm going to spray the lower mounting points on the wishbones with some penetrating oil, just to make it easier for the guy that's going to do it for me, because my car's a 2007 pre-facelift and they've probably never been undone. One of the other things I'm going to have to do on the rear of the car, that's my damp remover, tiny bit of water in there, is obviously because the shocks are adjustable on the top, they should be located up around here somewhere. So I'm going to modify the carpet so you can at least get access to the top mount so you can adjust them. But yeah, let's reverse the car back first and show you the bits I'm going to spray underneath. The sun's going down. Right, I've laid out my handy little mat set that some of you will remember I bought in Halford years ago. Yeah, there's a lot of crustiness under here. But yeah, I'm literally going to go through, spray this bolt, go through to the other side. Because if you imagine, in order to get the rear shock out, they undo this and they drop the lower rear wishbone away from the car. I'm only using WD-40. Like I say, I'm going to spray it inside. So obviously if I'm spraying it, again it's going to be hard to see. If I'm spraying it down in there, oh, can's rolling down the hill. It should go on the inside, on both sides of the wishbone. I will spray it from the other side, but this can's almost out. It's not branded with anything. There are some top bolts up there that I will try to get to, but for the moment, I don't think I've got to spray the wishbone. Not the wishbone, the anti-roll bar mounts, because obviously they will come down with the arm that's swayed, and at some point I want to get all this reconditioned. I understand there's somebody that does these pre-done, powder coated. Yeah, but let's give it a bit of a drown, and then I can move into the inside of the car. Well, that's both sides done now. I didn't film me doing this side, and I didn't film me coming in from there, because I've probably got an hour of sunlight left, and I want to get as much of this done as I can today. Although I'll probably make a start on the front tomorrow. So yeah, let's take a quick look inside here. These are probably all screwed in and mounted properly. Let's take my special thing that doesn't work out. Take the carpet out. And I should be able to work out where they are looking under here. So they are roughly about there. Yeah, so they're going to be probably in the back of there, which won't be handy. Let's see, I don't think I'll be able to get to it via there. But again, all of these things that I do now will actually save the mechanic time when he comes to do the shocks. Yeah, there's going to be one top bolt, isn't there? Hey, lots of bits. Right, well, let's get that one there undone. Yeah, I've kind of got my Torx bits. It's actually a T25, but because it's only a trim piece, it's not even done up tight. So I can just undo that, unless it's already been out before. Who knows? That takes the screw out, and then in theory there's nothing holding the carpet in place, he says, apart from maybe the rear seat. Yeah, that's all that was holding it in, the rear seat. Right, so that's actually the strut top on the rear and side. Good to see that it's not rotten. It's got Ford's famous brownie sealant. Not too dirty really, but I may give this a wipe. Yeah, I'm assuming great camera work, Paul. Yeah, just take that off. Obviously that's where the rear of the other shock comes up through. Yeah, so by looking at these, they're actually bolted up through the base of the car. I'm glad somebody else is doing this. Yeah, let's give that area a bit of a clean up. Mark out where I want to put the hole in the top of there, because it should be in here. Okay. Ford part number if you need it. Yeah, let's give this a bit of a clean, take the other side out and work out what I'm doing. If you actually look, let me show you. Yeah, so where this was actually, let's see if I can do it, that part there is pretty much in line with there, so I should be able to work out where I've got to cut the hole, just in case I ever need to adjust the rears. Yeah, but that's for a future video. Anyway, let's get this messed around with. There we go, you find me in the back of my car. I had taken this all out, marked it all out. I'd cut this originally as a little door that you could lift up to adjust it, but I think what I'll do is, like I've done, is I'm going to cut them out like that, and then obviously I've pre-soaked these from the top down. Tried to remove some of this glue that was there. Needs to go clean, but at least then, you know, I can just put that back in there if I choose to. Part of the plan is obviously to strip some of this because I want to fit a cage or a rear cage or something, but in the meantime, once they're fitted, I'll be able to adjust it from there. Anyway, I made the start on the other side, but removing these has actually proven to be a ball ache, so let's see how I get on. There we go, the other side is done. I've cut this one a little bit smaller. I've drowned them in penetrating oil as well, and obviously I've kept a little bit of carpet. You never know. Now, as I say, I'm going to loose this anyway, loose some of the rear interior. Yeah, but until I get the rear cage, I'm not too sure on how much has to come out, but I don't really want these in the car anyway. But at least that gives access to them. I can put both of those somewhere handy, slightly different size. Yeah, so let's put the back of the car together, turn the car around and show you what needs to be done to the front, which is quite a lot. There we go. You may not be able to tell, but I'm rapidly losing the light. Yeah, I don't think it looks too bad. And like I say, this will all go anyway at some point. You can just about see them. Yeah, so I'm going to turn the car around, but I think I'll briefly show you what I need to do, but then obviously I will do the rest tomorrow because it's too dark, way too dark. Right, so a quick show of the front, and as you may see, I've still not painted that bit. The top of the strut tower is actually down behind the scuttle panel, so if I want to adjust the front, it's about there. So I mean, in the manual that come with the the installation booklet, they recommend that you cut a hole in the top of those, and I've already got the tool to do that, but you still can't get your hand in there to do it. Well, I can't. So I've seen on a few modified Focuses, well, some of them don't actually run the scuttle panel, if I'm honest, but some of them cut it along here and some of them cut it along there and just remove that little bit. And I believe it's all, yeah, it's like a double skinned bit of plastic, so I'm either going to take the wiper blades off and take the scuttle panel out and cut it, or I've got a nice Dremel bit, but because I've got to get to this anyway, it's probably pretty certain I've got to get there anyway. Now what I may do, again, it's going to look weird, but it's what people do, because you can't actually adjust the top of these on a BC racing setup, is I think I'm going to go in line with that, cut through that. The rubber bit there I'll probably run somehow, yeah, and then I'm just literally going to cut this piece and across this piece and just remove that bit, and likewise on this side. I mean, I may even use these as a guideline, cut that because it gives us the clearance there. I mean, some would argue that once they're fitted you don't need to adjust them, but I think you do. And yeah, I mean, this is all plastic. Yeah, so anyway, I'm not going to start that tonight because, despite my camera making it look like it is, it's too dark already. So, and I've probably got to undo these to drill the top of the strut brace anyway. And again, when the mechanic comes to undo these to drop the front strut out, he won't have to take all this off. He can literally just access it. Anyway, so I'm gonna come back tomorrow, which in my life will be a few hours, and in yours it will be a few seconds. Here we go. A new morning, a new day, and I'm going to start on the front of the car. So I'm going to bring the car a little bit closer to the garage, as I've got to do a bit of use with tools. So let's start the car up, move it forward, pop the bonnet, and show you what I'm doing today. Alright, as I said earlier, or yesterday, plan is to take this off and modify it so we have access to the top. Now, I've been looking at alternative strut braces, i.e. ones like the Summit, that actually come forward and go across here. Like I say, I've got this bit to cut the top through there, but I also, like I say, I want to be able to get access to the top of the BC Racing adjusters. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is actually remove the top part of the scuttle panel, because obviously I may still do this bit, take this bit out, just so you've got access to this. And like I say, when the bonnet's shut, you can only actually really see from that part forward. And like I say, if you go on to Tinternet, if you go on the internet and have a look, quite a few of the modified Focus STs don't actually have the scuttle panel in, or they literally cut it from here just to give access, also to show some of the stuff down the back of there. So I'm going to remove the rubber strip, remove these clips, take these off. I believe these are a 15mm bolt nut, I should say, even, go it's early in the morning. Yeah, anyway, let's crack on.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before I knew. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed. When we play our roles let you in.
There we go, that's the top part off. The underside of the scuttle panel, it's held on with one little bolt there, and these two clips it pushes back into. But I'm going to give this a quick wipe over. This side, as you can see, it's just held into the push clip. Yeah, there's another one back there, and there's probably one under there, although I can't see it. But yeah, I'll do that, and then obviously come back and give this a bit of a wipe.
I knew.
So the lower part of the scuttle panel's removed. It had these lovely little banjo type clips. That's the factory fitted strut brace. Now I'm supposed to drill holes in the top of this. How I work out where exactly, but my only concern is on the BC Racing one, you can adjust the camber on the top plates, so I don't know if putting a hole in there just to put the top adjuster on is going to be adequate enough to be able to get to and adjust the camber. But as I say, I'm going to give this a quick once over, clean these off, and I'm just wondering, I mean, there's obviously the Sumposer that comes up through, but I'm just wondering if I can actually leave the lower panel off, just have the top, because obviously the top one's there to catch or direct some of the rain. But yeah, anyway, let's wipe out these corners and see what I'm left with. Right, so I'm now going to remove the strut brace. It's a 13mm socket. So here's something they don't tell you, but I kind of led on to earlier as I worked out. This is the strut top of the chassis. That's where the adjuster will come up through there. But if you haven't figured out already, the hole there is about that wide. So if you actually want to adjust the camber, you can't do it. So either you've got to modify the strut top tire, which is a no, or when you bolt it up through these bits here, or take this off and bolt it up through there, you're just not going to have enough access in there to get to these. So it actually means to adjust the camber on a Mark II ST with BC Racing coilovers fitted, you've got to drop the shock just to adjust the camber. Unless I'm wrong and somebody can tell me differently. So now the strut brace is removed, the next thing to do is drill a hole through that so you can get to the top of the adjuster on the BC Racing coilover. And the BC Racing recommend that you use a 32mm cut-in piece. Now I ordered this and it's extremely sharp. It's a metal one. I can't remember if it's titanium coated or something. Hopefully. There we go. So that's the actual hole diameter. That's not going to be easy, obviously, because I haven't got a vise, but I've also got to go through there and hope it's roughly right. So I'm going to do some rough calculations and get this attached to my drill and give it a go. There we go, 2 holes lovingly drilled, pretty much there. All I'm going to do now is file the edges in a little bit in there, because obviously if you're putting your fingers in there, which I can't do, so I think I'm going to have to get a different strut brace, but I'm going to do as they say. I will treat the inside of that with a bit of anti-rust deterrent and refit it to the car. So I've treated the ends of these to some anti-corrosive paint, but just gone over the ends basically. But as I say, that is matte and it will dry matte. But I think I'm going to replace the strut brace anyway. But it's done, so it shouldn't corrode where I've cut the hole. Bit wobbly. there you go. Ooh, wobble. Strap base is back on. I've still not dealt with this hole. That's the holes to the top, but as I say, there's no chance I'm going to get my fingers in there to adjust it. So I think all it will do is just provide clearance for it, but I reckon I'm going to have to get a new strap brace. Obviously something like a Summit one comes forward flat, leaving hopefully that exposed. Now the lower part of the scuttle panel, I've just put some chemical on because I was going to clean it, and yeah, I think I'm just going to cut the entire part that goes across the top of here, probably even giving access to that back bolt. I mean, yeah, anyway, I won't film it for you, but I'm just going to give this a quick brush over with my brush, which has now gone missing. Found my brush. It was right behind me. Yeah, that's all I'm going to do. It's not that bad, I just want to agitate the dirt with the chemical. It'll clean the drive as well. Just obviously because if I'm working with it, it's just easier that you don't track dirt everywhere. This is like a grease off product that I believe people use in the kitchen, but yeah, it's actually really good. So I'm going to work this a bit, let it soak, and then give it a rinse and have a look at cutting it. Right, I've wiped it down. Next plan is I've got some of these for my Dremel kit, and if you go online and look up Nick Simpson, he's got a 700 odd brake horsepower Mark II pre-facelift ST. He's also got BC Racing coilovers fitted with a Summit strut brace. And what he's done with the lower scuttle panel is cut it along there, so you actually remove this place, and then he's left the end bits, and then obviously on the top part he's actually cut it down here and removed this part as well. So when the rain comes down onto the scuttle panel, it still comes off the edges and runs down the side and goes down the inner wing and rots the inner wings for it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I've seen a couple of cars, like I say, that literally have that top part fitted, but I can't see how it's secured. So, and as we know, that clips to this. So yeah, I'm going to sort my Dremel out and get bodging and cut that bit off. There we go. Stepping it down, so I've had to bring the car forward a little bit. What you wouldn't have seen was the fact that my Dremel made no dent on this plastic at all on the lower scuttle panel. It's actually like an ABS plastic. It's rock hard. So I actually used my jigsaw, and the reason I didn't film it was because I freestyled it. Yeah, so I've basically cut the lower scuttle panel around here. Like I say, this will be covered up, but yeah, hopefully you've got better access to the top. And obviously, as I keep saying, I'm looking at a different strut brace. I've put this crusty Semposer thing back on, but I will be deleting that. And obviously I've done this side as well. I mean, I could have taken more off, but you can get general access to it, and because it's brittle plastic, it will crack on the thinnest parts quite easily. So yeah, all I've got to do now is do the same to this, which again I probably won't film, but I'm going to lay it down on top of the car because it clips back on quite easy. Well, the clips go on last, but you've only got to line those two eyelets up. And as I say, I will work out, I will probably just take this bit out. Show what I'm doing, Paul. I will obviously take this bit out just on there, I think, and leave the remainder of that. And again, do the same on this side, just to give access for my hands to get to the strut top mounts and to get to the adjusters on top of the BC Racing coilovers. Yeah, the rain's already coming down. What I'm going to show you quickly is, I've not cut it yet, but you can't see the vent part at the top. Let me just get the keys and show you what I mean. Right, so what I've initially done is cut here and here, just so you can get access to the top, and I've cut here and here to get access to that top. But as I say, a lot of people actually cut along the top of there and remove this bit. That will still leave this end clip to bolt to, and this end clip. Yeah, and obviously that will still allow that to clip, which I think is how I'm going to run it for a while, and then I'll see, because obviously if I cut this bit out as well, it will remove like the centre support, and although I'm not sure it will, but I was a bit concerned about under bonnet lift ripping it off, but everybody else seems to cope. But I just think I'm just going to take out those end bits. Here we go, scuttle panel's in, but I've not clipped it down yet. Yeah, bit rough around the edges, but I can get to the strut tops, and when you shut the bonnet, it doesn't look any different. I'll see how it goes. I may just experiment with running the end clips in. I think if I did remove this part and just leave that part, it will probably be alright, to be honest. But yeah, right, let's reconstruct the area. That's the other side, slightly smaller, but it runs in line with the airbox. Yeah, just looks like I got a jigsaw to it and cut it out, which may be what I did. But to be honest, I think aesthetically it would look better if I did remove this bit. To be honest, it looks at the moment like I've cut it, which is what I've done. But there you go. Clips are on, and I'm just trimming this to fit, so it will do some direction or redirection. It never fitted before, it was never long enough, but now it will be, obviously. So let's trim the remainder of that. It does mean if I ever want to replace it, I've got to buy a piece of rubber as well, but you know, like I say, the scuttle panels are about 20 quid, £28 on eBay, so yeah, no great loss if I don't like it. There we go, all back together. Rubber pipe cut and trimmed, wiper blades back on. I was going to respray the arms, but it's just too wet, so all I've got to do is test them, but they look like they're pretty straight, so yeah. Let's give that a whiz, and then all I would do is give this a quick dry before I shut the bonnet, and then we're ready to roll. Start raining now, well, almost. Yeah, I've given it a quick wipe down under the bonnet, check the coolant, check the oil. That's due to be done soon. Yeah, wiper blades are on, tested, they work fine, and that's pretty much it for this video. And yeah, my plans are next, obviously the car's going in a couple of weeks to have the suspension fitted. I hope that resolves the knock on that corner. If not, it could be a track rod end, but I do intend on changing the tie rods, track rods, all that sort of stuff, bushes, wishbones, and anti-roll bars. So yeah, so the next video will be me taking it somewhere to get a alignment along with the shocks being done, and obviously I'll do it before and after. But as per usual, I've got to tidy up because I never ever have like stuff lying around like this. Oh yeah. So yeah, join me in a few weeks, probably 3 weeks, and hopefully I'll have a video showing my car slightly lower, and I'll do some comparisons of before and after, what the shocks feel like, stuff like that. Okay, don't forget to click on that subscribe, because this year I'm going to try and expand my subscriber base. If you haven't done so already, you can always find me on Instagram and other socials. Okay, thanks very much.